How's it going, everybody? Welcome to week 15 here. So yeah, we're wrapping right up. Just kind of like this is sort of the last little bit this week of information. Next week we'll just kind of review, give you time to finalize your final projects, and then there'll be a final in this class, but it'll be sort of again kind of cumulative, more sort of reflective. Final. I'll give you a final exam review guide beginning next week, and then we can kind of go over that as well. But this week, two things I want to talk about. Definitely, I did put up your final project guidelines. They're in the student resources right by this midweek check-in. Take a look those over. Again, kind of as we've been working on, and I've explained throughout the semester that your final projects is actually two parts. One's a paper, kind of where you can kind of explain your point. Again, hopefully by this point you've narrowed down your topic. That is manageable. Again, you can't do 3 to 5 pages on Jesus, right? I mean, there's entire libraries dedicated to Jesus or the Bible, right? So narrow it down. What are you going to focus on? What do you want to say about that? I've tried to look back at my feedback on your your first draft or your ideas. I've given feedback on all of that. So take a look at that. And again, the final paper is 3 to 5 pages. Again, it's not very much, so you're not going to have a lot to work with there. But you can explain. Pick a topic what you want to say about whatever it is. Again, it can be any topic of any world religion, which again is very broad. I understand that, so we're kind of trying to narrow things down. 3 to 5 pages should be essay format, so there should be an introduction, some body paragraphs, a conclusion. The sources, I want at least 3 secondary sources, and they can be anything. They can be internet sites. Make sure they're credible. Definitely click on those. If I get a bunch of sources that don't work, then I'm going to assume that those were typically those are pretty indicative of AI stuff. So make sure that whatever sources you put in there are accurate. There's still Mulkini Library. There's plenty of articles and books there that you could look at. And already the course materials we've used are totally open. I've tried to kind of put each group, each world religion, I've tried to upload sort of primary sources, secondary sources, so utilize those as well. So that's the paper. And then the presentation, and upload your paper as you'll see in the guidelines to the assignments section. Yep, let me just double check that. Yes. And then upload your presentations to the discussion post. I'll set up a separate one for that, and that's so in case people want to see these presentations, they can look at them. Particularly, if people did a bunch of stuff on a similar topic or somebody's topic is interesting on the discussion post. You don't have to respond to these. I mean, there'll be a separate discussion forum for this. But just and again, your presentation is it's a PowerPoint or a Google slide, whatever you want, about 5 to 7 slides. The first 2 are you got to do as the guidelines say. First one should be your name, title page, image. Second one should be just bullet points about what this main topic's about. Again, this should be like 3 bullet points, and then each slide should associate with one of those bullet points. In the next slides, you can format any way you want, however it goes. Just kind of pulling out the main points from your paper. Again, please try not to copy and paste paragraphs from your paper directly onto your slides. So I try to kind of formulate this, and this is why I think when you're writing these in tandem, they can kind of help again, sort of reinforce how to make things concise and clear. And you can that's where you can add images, or if there's like some cool direct quotes you got from your primary sources that you on your paper. I want you to include at least 2 direct quotes from a primary source from your religion or from your figure, whatever that element of religion is, and then that should be pretty manageable. A total about 7 slides, 2 mandatory ones, 3 to 5 of your paper main points, and that's it. So that's your final projects. Take a look at those. Take a look at the guidelines. If you have any questions about that, please email me. If you need clarifications, let me know. I'd be happy to do that there. A couple other announcements. I think you've gotten your emails about student evaluations. If you have time, please you give me some feedback to this course. and I sort of mentioned that this is my first time teaching it in this capacity. I've taught it in other ways before, but so I'm still trying to kind of work out things, obviously. So if there's things that worked, great, let me know. I'll keep them in. If there's things from this class that didn't work, also let me know. It's fine. Don't don't feel bad if it's like this wasn't good. Let me know, and I want to tweak that as well, so that future iterations of this course will be more fine tuned. But I will look at those. So please definitely let me know. Give me some feedback from your end. From my end, I tried. I thought it was interesting for me, and hopefully it was interesting for you as well. And then the discussion post for this week is also kind of reflective. We've talked about the Kyle framework a lot of just why are you here? What's your reason? And that this class and this semester is a chapter in the larger book of you. So what this week I just wanted you to kind of reflect just on this class. Just what was it? Is there something that stuck out, or maybe there's something you came in and you wanted to learn and you did, or maybe maybe you didn't. Maybe you came in here wanted to learn something and we didn't cover it, and that's totally fine too. That'd be great because I could put it into next project as well. But then the other thing with knowledge and learning in school is, what are you going to share, right? I mean, if you just take this knowledge and keep it, that's fine, great, you learned something. But now that you've taken a world religions course, what is it? Is there something you can transmit onward? Something you learned, or an idea you had that became more that you can communicate better, right? And that's kind of what I want from just be thinking about this ha'ina, right? This declaration. You've just had this journey. What is it? Can you take with you to the next phase? And then so I think those are the main announcements. And then just this week's stuff and new religious movements. I really just tried to pull out. We've touched on some world religions, so I wanted to look at some elements of these world religions that are newish, right? Christianity, obviously Mormonism is a relatively new, or Church of Latter-day Saints is relatively new. Non-denominational religions that, breaking away from this sort of like Catholic or Orthodox or like, Protestant was the first sort of breakaway, and then that sort of splintered as well. So that really leaves a lot of freedom for Christianity to evolve in many different ways. We looked at sort of new Buddhist things coming out of China, Falun Gong, and Soka Gakkai. Even in Hinduism, right? This sort of the Sai Baba and Amma, these different groups that use this sort of obviously Hindu ideas of karma and dharma and moksha, bhakti, personal worship, and have been part of that. Baha'i is really interesting. Sort of Islam breaks off as monotheist. I gave a video about kind of what it is with sort of a unifyingness. A lot of these new religions are very unifying. Theosophical society, that's very hard to say, is also kind of like this new religion. A lot of ideas have come out there, again, trying to kind of borrow or mesh these religions together. I thought was interesting. And then also secularism, which is an acknowledgement of religions, but not maybe wedded to a single religion, is also part of the discussion of world religions of and I sort of talked about that in the text or the lecture as well. So I think that's it. I mean, we've covered a lot of religion. Hopefully you have a better idea of it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your final projects are. I'm looking forward to learning from you in those as well. So great. If you have any questions, let me know, and have a good rest of your week.